and welcome to a new vlog. Welcome to the weekend. What will hopefully be a very quiet and restful weekend. I'm so tired. It just feels like it's been such a weird week. A lot of ups and downs. So I'm ready for a weekend to just really mentally check out. I got a lot of work done over the week. That was good. And I've got a lot of work to do next week. So I really need a couple days to just relax and decompress for a little bit, disconnect, and let my brain do nothing, basically. So that's the plan. I'm gonna do a lot of reading this weekend. I'm currently reading Sarah Perry's The Essex Serpent. It is not what I expected. I am enjoying it. I am. Realize I say that as I make a face. I'm enjoying it. My one issue, I guess, is because of how it's written, I'm not sure I'm really in the best mindset to read this type of book. I'll talk more about this once I finish it and have like full thoughts, but so far I'm just noticing it's very densely written. It's just a lot to read when your brain is really tired. But it's a library book, so I can't just put it aside for a few weeks and hope that I'll feel better, feel more like up to reading it. I'd have to send it back to the library, put another hold on it. It didn't take as long as I was afraid it would, but I'm worried that now that the TV series is out, and probably more people are watching it, I think the hold is going to get longer on that book. So, and also I'm the type of person where if I start reading a book and I know I want to finish it, then I just want to finish it now. I don't want to put it aside and come back to it. Long story short, I want to just get this book read, and I am enjoying it. It's just taking me a very long time to read it, but I'm hoping that being a Saturday, I can just kind of sit down and relax and focus and just get it read. But yeah, it should just be a chilled weekend. But I also, once I finish this book, it is June 25th, y'all, as I'm filming this. We are halfway to Christmas. I might have to have a Christmas movie night tonight. And I probably should read some Christmas novels over the next few days. I think that would be really fun to have a little Christmas at the 6-month mark. But that means that we're also pretty much halfway through this year, so I thought it would be a good time to kind of do a mid-year roundup of what I've read, what I've enjoyed out of different categories and stuff. There really hasn't been a book that I haven't enjoyed. There have been some that I've enjoyed more than others, but it's been a year of just really great books so far. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of stop as part of this vlog and reflect on that. So that is coming up. So yeah, I'm gonna go get back to reading because I would like to be able to give my final thoughts on the Essex Serpent in this vlog and include that as part of the mid-year roundup. So I'm gonna go get my coffee and my breakfast and go get snuggled back in bed and yeah, just zone out and relax. I'm gonna create the mood a bit. I have found the soundtrack for the Essex Serpent on Apple Music, so I'm gonna listen to that. It's the soundtrack of that, from what I'm remembering and from the first bit that I've listened to, is a bit eerie, but it kind of works for the book. So yeah, it should be a nice, it's still technically morning, but it should be a nice afternoon of reading. So windy outside. I didn't even realize the wind had picked up because I've had headphones on. These are my mom's. She has a pair of over-ear noise canceling headphones, and so I thought I would try them out. I think I might buy some for myself. I love my AirPods, the AirPod Pros. Love them, but they're not that comfortable for wearing like for several hours. I've been wearing these all day. The downside of these is my ears definitely feel warm. So I would never wear these on campus on a hot day. I would be miserable. So I'm feeling like the AirPods are good for like going out for walks around the neighborhood, being on campus. The noise canceling is great for on campus. So I don't regret buying those, although I'm glad I got them on sale. I got them for like $75 off, which made them the price of the regular Generation 3 AirPods. So I got a good deal and I'm happy with them, but I am starting to feel like for reading here at home, for working at my desk, for having noise canceling on for long periods of time, I think over ear is going to be better, because like my air conditioning sounds so loud to me now because I've had these on for so long. So they really do make a difference in the summer. Mom only uses these when she travels, so I will probably, I'm borrowing them kind of long term from her, so I will probably get through the summer using hers, and then by next summer when I have to turn the AC back on again, I'll save up and buy my own, because I didn't want to buy any right now. There's other things I need to spend that money on more, but I think in the future having a pair of these would be nice. So I've been wearing these, so I had no idea it had gotten so windy outside, but sitting here now, even with the air conditioning on, I can hear the wind from outside. So I'm really tempted to come and sit out here and open those blinds just so I can see the tree, the wind through the tree, because it's so pretty. But yeah, reading update. I have now finished the Essex Serpent. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I'm, like I was kind of saying before, I'm not sure I was completely in the right state of mind to read it right now, but because it was a library book, I felt like I needed to read it right now because I just didn't want to have to put a hold on it again and blah blah blah. So I'm glad I read it and it was good. I just think I might have enjoyed it more if I'd read it at a different time. It definitely feels more like an autumn book, even though it's not specifically set at autumn. It just has a kind of, I don't know, just darker, moodier vibe. It definitely, and maybe I'm picking some of that up from the visuals of the TV series, so I might have been influenced by that to some extent. But yeah, I will say it's different from what it sounds like it will be on the book description, but because I'd seen the TV show, I kind of knew what it was about. It's really not so much about this mystery of the serpent, and if you think there's going to be a fantasy like spin on it or some kind of monster that they find along the ocean, you're going to be disappointed. It's not really about that, but it gets at questions of faith versus reason, belief versus science, where are they or aren't they mutually exclusive kind of a thing. The two main characters Cora is very kind of into natural science and is not particularly religious, and then the main male character, Will Ransom, is a vicar in a country parish in Essex. There are also sub-themes of kind of class and gender, and there's a lot that it doesn't fully unpack, but it makes you think about. I'd say my biggest thing to be aware of, again, that kind of would impact how much someone would enjoy the book, because I do think it's a really good story. It's very, I don't want to say intellectual, but it is a book that asks you to think. It's not a story that you can really just passively read. My biggest, I don't want to say warning, because that just sounds so negative, but the biggest thing I think people should be aware of, and I would recommend, like, if you can read a preview of it, like on Amazon using their Look Inside feature or something, I don't think the way that it's written is going to be necessarily for everyone's taste or preference. It's got a very old-fashioned feel, very similar to 19th century literature. It's got a very kind of old-fashioned feel, both to the language and to the structure slash formatting. So when I say structure, I don't mean plot structure, I mean more like the literal structure of the words on the page, the way the page is laid out. It's very dense. There are a lot of long blocks of text. I could have used a few more paragraph breaks, if I'm being completely honest. At some point, I think you might have seen in one of the clips, my Kindle, I don't know if other Kindles have, I assume other Kindles do have this feature. I have my Kindle app on an iPad mini, and I can turn on a reading ruler that kind of blocks out 3 lines at a time, so I can just like see those 3 lines at a time as I'm reading. That helped. I don't know if it's my age, if it's my bad vision, if it's ADHD making it difficult to focus. I don't know what it is, but I do tend to be a faster and more comprehensive reader, if I'm using that word correctly. Like, I tend to comprehend the words better and faster when it's shorter paragraphs and when the dialogue is really broken up. But I just found that, like, lines of dialogue would be embedded in some of these large paragraphs, and so you'd have to be looking for the quotation marks, and it's a book that you cannot skim. So yeah, a lot of I'm really glad I read it, and it was a really good book, but it's definitely making me think a lot about not just the story, but also about formatting and language and how, like, the technical ways that writers can write their stories, because you don't see many writers now writing books in quite this way. So suddenly the clouds have come in. I can't believe how windy this is. Anyway, I'm getting distracted by the wind and by it suddenly getting a little bit darker. The sun has definitely gone behind a cloud out there. But yeah, I have now switched back to an Avon Ellis book. I had just downloaded book 4 of her Rinkside in the Rockies series, which is one of her hockey romance series. And book 4 is the final one in that series for now. So I just downloaded that when the Essex Serpent came available through the library. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna read the Essex Serpent now, get that one checked off my list, and then I'll go back to Avon Ellis for this book. And then I'm gonna try to take a break from Avon Ellis for a little bit, because this will be the 4th book that I've read of hers just in like the past month. So I'm gonna go read for a little bit longer and then enjoy a quiet evening. Whoa! Okay, it's now Sunday. I've got a lot to do today. I've been having a slow morning, but I have been up for about 4 hours, a little bit more than that. So it's almost 1:30 now. I wanted to go over my answers to the Midyear Book Freakout Tag because we're pretty much halfway through the year now. It's the end of June, and I wanted to kind of take a moment to go over what I've read so far this year, and the Midyear Book Freakout Tag is a good way of kind of going over some of those highlights. I've pulled up my 2022 reading challenge page on Goodreads. I have read 52 books out of my goal, my projected goal of 82, so I am more than halfway there by a lot. Halfway would have been 41, so I'm 11 books ahead of halfway. So that's great. That makes me feel really confident about getting to 82 books this year without reading that last book in the last few hours of New Year's Eve like I was doing last year. So I have been trying to read as much as possible over the summer. I've pulled up my Goodreads reading challenge page, and I've got the Midyear Book Freakout Tag questions as well. So I'm just going to dive right into these. So question number 1, best book you've read so far. It's really hard for me to pick bests and favorites, even just for like within 1 year. I've read a lot of really great books that have been favorites for different reasons this year. So in a way, my answer is like almost all of them, but we can't do that. That would be cheating. But I'm still slightly cheating because I've put a whole trilogy on this on here for this question, and it's the Princess Bride trilogy by J.J. Mcavoy. It's a royal romance, contemporary romance, definitely more romantic drama, but there are some funny moments in it, but I wouldn't call it a rom-com, but it's more like a royal soap opera in a way. Really liked the way that she stuck with what is kind of expected for the genre, but then also what she switched up and did a little bit differently. It just felt like a really nice, fresh take on royal romance. So really enjoyed those. Number 2, best sequel you've read so far. I didn't realize they were like book 1 and book 2 within the series when I started reading them, so I actually read book 2 first. So book 1 is The Secret of Meadow Farmhouse by Katie Ginger, and then she's also written The Little Library on Cherry Lane. I read The Little Library one first, realized, kind of spotted, oh, I think this is like the second book in a series. Looked it up, sure enough, there was another book set in this village that you don't have to read them in order, but I like to do it that way. So went back and read The Secret of Meadow Farmhouse. Really enjoyed both. They're just really cute, cozy romances. There is a bit of drama, but there's just a lot of heart. That cozy is definitely the word. Really enjoyed both of those. Number 3, new release you haven't read yet, but want to. I don't really have anything for this because I don't really pay attention to new releases when it comes to like traditionally published books. And all of the new releases that I've been like anxiously waiting for from indie authors that are already out, I've already read them. So the next question is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and those are indie authors who I am waiting for. So there's 2 new books I've pre-ordered from Avon Ellis that will be coming out throughout the end of the year. There's a new one by Nancy Warren that I've got on pre-order that should be out by the end of this month. I know it was sometime the end of June, but I can't remember exactly what date. There's a new one coming out soon by Olivia Spring that I'm really looking forward to. Number 5, biggest disappointment. As an author, I just don't, for both personal reasons and professional reasons, I'm not going to speak negatively about another author's work. It just feels really weird and icky to kind of do that. Number 6, biggest surprise, definitely the Essex Serpent for all the reasons I talked about yesterday, earlier in this vlog. Number 7, favorite new author, debut or new to you. Probably Camille Baker, who wrote Have We Met? I just thought the whole premise was really good. It was fascinating. It was just a little bit magical, you know, not a fantasy, but definitely just a little tiny hint of magic in there. I just loved everything about that book, so I would be really curious to read something else by Camille Baker. Number 8, newest fictional crush. So many choices just because of how many Avon Ellis books I've been reading this year. She writes the best male characters. She really, really does. Although I will say Gale from the Princess Bride trilogy was also pretty fantastic. But for this question, I've put down Jack McAnally from Making Spirits Bright by Avon Ellis, which was like the second book that I read this year. Really, really enjoyed it. Thought it was really cute, was what I was hoping for. It was the third book in her British Billionaire series. Her fourth book is one of the ones I've got on pre-order that I'm anxiously awaiting for later this year. But yeah, I love a good Christmas romance, and when the hero is also like Irish and really good looking and a billionaire, like what's not to swoon over for that? Number 9, newest favorite character, probably Peony Bellefleur in Peony Dreadful by Nancy Warren. The second book in that series is what I'm waiting for by the end of this month. I just really liked her. It seems, I haven't seen her anything written about it, but it seems like her Vampire Knitting Club series might be at an end. It's been months since there's been a new one, and normally in these series she's got a new one like every 3 months. So I'm a little worried that one is done, which I'm kind of bummed about because I really liked the main character in that. But if I have to lose that series, I'm really enjoying the Village Flower Shop series, and I really love Peony Bellefleur, and I cannot wait to see what happens in book 2, because there were a lot of things hinted at the end of book 1 that I'm like, where is book 2? I need to read it now. So I was really glad to see it was coming out in June, and I cannot wait to read it. Number 10, book that made you cry. I mentioned this one and showed this one just like 4 vlogs ago, something like that. You, Me, and the Colors of Life by Noah C. Walker. Absolutely heartbreaking, but also really heartwarming and endearing, and I sobbed buckets, like full-on ugly cry in bed reading for like the last 40 pages. But oh my gosh, it definitely made me cry, but I still loved it. Number 11, book that made you happy, If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy. I love Cinderella. I've been obsessed with The Bachelor since its inception, so when you bring those two together and the Cinderella character, instead of going to a ball, is going on a reality dating show, like what is not to love? Loved that book, and it just made me, I just was smiling the whole way through. Number 12, the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received, Wabi Sabi by Beth Kempton, which was a lovely birthday gift to me from my friend Cheska. Absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. It's beautiful as far as like the cover and the design of the interior, but then it's just beautiful in terms of the words and what has been written. And then number 13, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? There are some books, some physical books. There's one by Sophie Cousins and one by Beth O'Leary. And then I still have the book Wintering by Catherine May. There's a few hardcover books or hard copy books that I bought this year. I should finish those before the end of the year. I tend to like buy hardcover or hard copy books and then like hoard them and stick to my Kindle, but I need to read those. And with that, I'm gonna go. I need to go edit and then get my movie started before it gets too late. It should be a really chill rest of the evening. Okay, so the movie's done, and while I was watching it, it got very cloudy and stormy outside, and I think the temperature's dropped as well. Oh my gosh, it's 88 degrees. It feels humid, but it's 88 degrees. And it is very stormy looking out in that direction. I could hear the wind had picked up, which you're probably, see if I can shield the microphone on the camera. But yeah, it's very cloudy. I could hear the wind picking up because it rattles down through the fireplace. Little bit of sun light coming from over there. I think I just saw a flash, but I don't know. I'm waiting to hear if I hear any lightning. It almost looks like there could be rain coming down here, but it's also partially blocked by, ooh, I did see a flash of lightning. I don't know if that came up on the camera or not, the thunder. The landscapers were just here, but there's still so many leaves back on the ground now. Let's go inside and see what we can see out the other window. Although I've blocked those windows up, I took my sunshades. I can turn this lamp back on. I had everything dark in here for the movie. Okay, it looks clearer in that direction, although there's still some big clouds beyond those trees. So we will just have to see. There's like storms, like little scattered storms all around the state, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it seems like they're kind of skirting south of me, but it's still nice that it's only 88 degrees outside. The movie is done. It was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. If you're a fan of Marvel and a fan of Doctor Strange, I think it's a good one. I'm already ready for the next one. I love, just in general, theories about the existence of multiverses. It's always fun seeing that kind of play out in a film like this, and I thought they did a good job with it. It was very good. So it was a nice way to spend a Sunday afternoon. I'm gonna wrap up this vlog here. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. That would be amazing. As for our question of the vlog, or your instructions for the comments, your mission, should you choose to accept it in the comment section, answer some of the questions from the book tag. If you want to answer one or two questions in the comments, what was your favorite book so far of the first half of this year? What book was the biggest surprise for you? What books are coming up? Like, what new releases are you anticipating for the second half of the year? Any of the questions, I would love to know your answers to them. So let's chat books in the comments below. And yeah, thank you very much for watching this vlog, and I will see you all very soon in the next one. Bye!